Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. This is going to be the TAFA and chart analysis for February 9th. Just got back into the lands of Wisconsin. Very cold here. Very, very cold. But either way, today we didn't really see too much movement in the crypto market, but we did see pretty big movement in the stock market. I think crypto is taking a little break after last week. And I think we are waiting for the CPI reports and the consumer sentiment report coming out today and tomorrow. Now, because the NASDAQ, the Dow, if you actually look at US today, the NASDAQ and the Dow and the S&P all went up the last 2 days and crypto hasn't moved. I believe if the CPI report is positive, we will definitely see crypto go up. I mean, crypto did go up by 20, 25% over last weekend. So it might be taking a little bit of a breather right now as some people try to reel and take profits. It has actually not gone down the last 2 days. If you look at the 5-day chart, it's not gone down. It's just kind of like stabilized over the last 2 days since it's come up. With like the median line being around 43,800. We are still at the top of the previous plateau. We haven't broken 50,000 yet. The CPI report, I think, will be like pretty much as expected. I don't think it'll be like good or bad in either way, but the earnings reports are very, very strong. Disney reported really, really solid earnings reports today, obviously, because their theme parks are opening back up. Everyone wants to go to Disney. And so like a lot of people, they have a lot of visitors. They probably rose prices as well. Uber obviously beats on revenue, and they're a little bit more closer to the tech sector. And the core business is back after the Omicron surge. So you can see like business is coming back to as usual, and the economy is going to start to heat up, which means more interest rate hikes. But I think some of those definitely have been priced in. And once again, we're going to look at the CPI and also the consumer sentiment report. And the CPI is definitely going to affect the consumer sentiment report. So while there were good earnings by Disney and Uber today, and I think most of the earnings that come out this week have been very positive, which is why the markets actually haven't been up. We haven't really seen too many NASDAQ stocks. So that's why the crypto market hasn't really gone up either. Hasn't really gone up because crypto is more correlated with certain NASDAQ companies than it is with the entire market. And most of the reports today haven't really come from the tech sector. But once again, CPI is of paramount importance. And I think if we get like maybe 7.2 or under, I think we can actually rise up to 46, 47,000 on that. And then if we get shorts liquidating, we can actually get to 50K by this weekend. Like I said, I'm usually not quite as bullish about the last 2 weeks of the month as the first 2 weeks of the month. I could be totally off, but we are getting closer to the rate hike in March. And we also have futures expiring during the last couple of weeks of the month. So I'm always not as bullish on the last 2 weeks of the first 2 weeks, but we had a pretty good surge the first 2 weeks. I'm hoping that a good CPI report will help us surge again this weekend above 50K. So right now, we've been actually swinging between I've honestly been swinging between roughly like 43.5 and 45.5 the last couple of days, and we've gone from that region like every day, around 43.5 to 45 each day. So right now, because we've actually gotten to that range for a long time, the exponential moving average on the daily all the way down to the 50 is actually a buy. Now, the 50 EMA is still lower than the 200 EMA. That hasn't changed, and we need to get to about 47,000 before that changes. So we're still a little bit of ways from that. What we need happen is we need a strong CPI report, and that boosts. That actually boosts the crypto market. We need some of those shorts to liquidate and get to around 50,000. Then that will actually change to positive. There's the average directional index, because it's shifted directions in this week, is actually pretty weak, which means the commodity channel index is actually overbought. And the stochastic is kind of overbought too. So right now we are in the overbought territory. Maybe we have to go for a little dip before going back up higher. Until the average directional index actually changes and gets much, much stronger, I can't really say it's anything of an upward pattern. But that actually may change in the days to come. And hopefully if we go up to 45, 50, that actually changes for the stronger. But right now we're a little bit overbought according to the oscillators. I mean, if you look at the moving averages, it's telling you to buy it for the short term. The oscillators say maybe hold back and wait for the CPI report, or maybe wait until March after they hike rates, which is kind of what I would do at this point. On the 1 week, indicators, the RSI and the stochastic and the commodity channel index are all neutral. Momentum is turning upward, but all the EMAs and SMAs actually still say sell. We still haven't grown by quite enough, although we are very, very close to the 10-week EMA and SMA flipping back to buy, but we're not quite there yet. So anything like on the weekly long range, it's still indicating sell right now. And like I said, I would actually wait to see what happens in March with the interest rate hikes after the first hike to see how people react, and especially to see how much they hike the interest rate. If it's above 25 basis points in the first hike, I have a feeling the market is going to crash. But if it's like, if they decide to postpone the hike or just hike it 25 basis points, I do think there will be a little bit of buying. And also, how many times are they going to hike it? If they say I think 4, then I think the market's going to go up. If they say 7, the market might retract a little bit. So you got to watch out for that, like how much they hike it and how much they're actually going to hike it by each time. On the monthly, I only really look at the 10 SMA and EMA, and those are both at the sell level right now. The rest is at buy because it's much, much longer term. The oscillators are pretty much neutral for the month, but right now, like on the yearly, it's still down right now. So until like March, once again, I probably wouldn't buy. If it's good in March, it'll actually make the 10 EMA and SMA go positive. If it's like bad, it'll make it go really, really negative. So a lot of things hinge on March. I would say it's like 50-50 which way it goes. So flip a coin if you're feeling lucky, but I wouldn't actually do that with my money. Either way, like we've been oscillating, like I can't really see any real pattern based on like the graph. I know that like overall, definitely since like the beginning of this week, it's definitely been a bullish pattern ever since last weekend. But if you actually take a look at the month, monthly it's also positive, at least from mid-month onward if you look at this. But if you look at the beginning of the month, from the beginning of the month, we might be slightly positive, but we're pretty much even right now. So on the monthly graph, like it looks like we have like a reverse head and shoulders, but like the second half of the month looks better than the first half of the month. So if it were for the hikes that I know are coming in March, I would say we're overall positive, but I'm not really sure what the hikes are going to do. It looks like the first half of the month people got scared because of the hikes and the bad stock market. In the second half of the month, people were like, oh, maybe the hikes aren't so bad after all, and the stock market's earnings reports means the economy is green. So hopefully, like the overriding wave of the economy is doing a lot better than we thought, is going to just crush the wave of, oh, we're going to get a couple of rate hikes. Because if that happens, I do think we are going to go up, and that's really what I'm hoping will actually happen, instead of like the interest rates scaring everyone into oblivion. So that's kind of how the fundamental analysis and the technical analysis look right now. I would still say like kind of buy for this week into the weekend, and then afterwards maybe hold back until the interest rates news comes out, because I think that will actually affect the market some. I do think it's going to be buy for the rest of this week, because I can see like the earnings are being pretty strong right now. Unless the CPI is disastrous tomorrow or the consumer confidence index is disastrous on Friday, I think it should be pretty solid buy both for the stock market and for crypto. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.